Welcome back. So for lesson 2, we're going to touch quickly on the 7 Hermetic Principles. This is called the Hermetic School of Application, so now would be a very good time to touch on the 7 Hermetic Principles. This video is just a quick rundown of each principle. I will get much deeper into each one of the 7 Hermetic Principles later in different videos and show you how to apply the principles and how to see them in your everyday life. And like I said, we'll get much deeper into all of that later. For now, this is a quick rundown of what these 7 Hermetic Principles are, and this will provide our framework going forward for the lessons to come in the following videos. So without further ado, here is a short video explaining the 7 Hermetic Principles.
Here are the 7 principles upon which Hermetic philosophy rests. The first Hermetic principle is that of mentalism, which holds that all is mind, that what we call reality is composed of mental energy and is created by an all-encompassing universal mind. This principle states that the material realm proceeds from mental states and that matter is a product of mind. The second Hermetic principle is that of correspondence, from which derives the infamous occult axiom, as above, so below. This principle reminds us that the nature of the universe is fractal, and that the same fundamental principles are at work no matter how large or small the system we are observing is. The third Hermetic principle, vibration, describes all aspects of the universe, both material and energetic, as being vibratory in nature. It shows us that the universe is constantly in motion, that it is alive, breathing, and flowing, and not a static clockwork mechanism. The fourth Hermetic principle, the Principle of Polarity, describes the dual nature of all phenomena. Everything that exists has an opposite, a dual nature that can hold the key to the mystery of its existence. The Principle of Polarity teaches us that by finding the center point between the extremities of the poles, we can approach true wisdom. The fifth Hermetic Principle of Rhythm reveals the cyclical nature of the movement of the universe. In everything can be found the rhythm of nature, flowing in and flowing out again, a universal heartbeat that drives all life forward. The sixth Hermetic principle, cause and effect, describes the great chain of causality, the progression of events in the universe from the beginning of time stretching into the unknown darkness of the future. This principle also destroys the idea of chance and randomness, as all events are linked to all other events in this unbreakable chain of being. The seventh and final Hermetic principle of gender does not refer to the physical meaning of the word, but instead reveals that within all things there is some measure of the feminine and some amount of the masculine in varying degrees. These two forces are not merely the origins of sexual desire, but are the creative forces that give rise to all things throughout the universe.
So there is a brief rundown of the 7 Hermetic Principles. And just a word about these principles. One thing about these is belief is not required. These principles are hard and fast laws of our universe, our dimension, our world, our lives, and whether you understand them or not, they go on every day, all the time, and they are in everything. Just like when you flip the light switch in your living room, electricity doesn't care if you believe in it or not. The lights are coming on when you turn the switch on. Your belief is not required. Electricity exists whether you believe it does or not. It's there, and it's going to operate by its laws. So the same thing applies for these principles. Just because you might not understand them doesn't mean that they don't exist. They still They operate in everything, and you need to understand that whether you believe in them, whether you know them or not, the people in the know of this world do understand them and do know them, and they're playing by an entire different set of rules than you are if you don't grasp this stuff and if you don't understand it. Once you learn these, you'll see the entire world completely different because you're looking at it through a different prism. So once you're able to grasp these, once you're able to learn them and really get an appreciation for what they are, you'll never see the world or your life ever the same again. And I'll tell you, it really makes life just the most exciting thing you could ever imagine. Your life will go from being mundane and robotic to magical, like overnight, because you are seeing the entire world through a different prism, and you understand how this entire universe and world and your life, how it all works, how it all really works. We're not talking about hocus pocus or flying unicorns here. These are all hard and fast laws of the universe. These are what drives the engine of existence, and you need to know them, you need to understand them, and once you do that, you can use them to your benefit, because if you don't know them, you sure as heck can use them to your detriment as well. We'll get into all that much deeper later, but there's two sides to every coin, and we'll get into all of that later. Okay, but for now, just understand that these laws are something that you need to learn, and that's what this entire channel is about. So we're going to go through all of these. I'm going to give lessons on all of them. I'm going to give you examples. I'm going to show you how they work and how to spot them and how to use them to your advantage, and how ignoring them can be much to your detriment. So again, we'll cover all of that later. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.